Good afternoon. How is everybody? I am so happy to be here. I'm so happy that I'm able to be here. I'm a little late. What is it? Probably 20 after. Let's see here. Yeah. About 20 after. 19 after. You know how some days just don't always want to go exactly your way? Right when it's critical? I had one of those days. I have recovered from it. I have a smile on my face, and so everything's good. But about 20 minutes ago, I was doing the last few little things here behind me on the display of the Grex Airbrushes and the Chroma-craft paints and dyes. And the entire thing came crashing forward and through everything all the way across the studio. So I had a couple of choice words, broke more of a sweat, and put it all back together. And so I'm just a little bit late. And so I apologize for that. But I appreciate everybody coming out today. We're going to have fun. We are talking about airbrushes today. We have a special going today. That's what this is all about. This is the second Spiracraft Saturday special. It is roughly from 1 to 3. The intent and focus is to display, showcase the product, drive some sales. We have great prices. Grex has put a super sale on their product. They seldom ever discount. They don't allow retailers to discount anything like that. Oh, I see my chat box went away again. It's one of those days. So Grex has 10%. Which is great. Grex is a fantastic airbrush, and you should be seeing a crawler going across the screen that I created with the prices, since I wouldn't have to try and remember all that. Also, since Chroma-craft products Spiracraft also carries are what we spray with either the paints, the fine detail airbrush paints, or the alcohol dyes. So I put all the Chroma-craft products on sale at 15% off, and there's a code that goes across the crawler down there. And I'm learning how to point at something that doesn't exist. On the crawler down there is a code, SSCC15, and that is good in the Spiracraft shop for any Spiracraft product, or Chroma-craft product, excuse me. Doesn't have to be the paints, can be the epoxy resins, can be spin gems that were real popular yesterday from Zach Higgins. I wanted to give a shout out to Zach. He demonstrated using the Chroma-craft spin gems yesterday. Did a wonderful job. I'm curious to see how his castings came out. And again, I appreciate Zach using our product and giving us a shout out there. Really appreciate it. So today we're playing with airbrushes. Going to go through the complete kits and the different sizes and styles. Probably maybe get a little stencil work in here. I brought in a nice piece of maple. Now the reason I'm willing to donate it is, as you can see, it kind of warped when it dried just a little bit, but it's a great candidate for this. Now, of course, like I said, I look over and I see that I cannot see anything in the chat stuff because it's goofing up again. So I'm going to take one quick escape from here, and I'm going to give you a nice picture of this box right here for just a moment while I step away and see if I can't fix that chat room. Now, it's got a little funny color to it because we're running chroma key, and that happens to be a green box. Everything from Grex is in green. I know why that went away. Too many things going on in the world. But we can fix this pretty quick if we don't mess something else up along the way. Because I do like to be able to see the questions and be able to answer them for you. It's important. It's important to you. It's important to me. So this will take me just a second. I guess that crash when everything came falling down kind of distracted me. That's going to be my reasoning anyway. Let's put it that way, which is actually a pretty good one. All right, let's see if we can't get this guy back up and running here. Always love to start out with something not working. But we'll fix this, and we will be back up and going. Oh my, it's gonna make me go about it the hard way. Nothing ever goes easy when you're live. We are working on getting some assistance. We're gonna have some help here pretty soon, moderating what's going on. And one of these days I'll actually have help in here. So I'm gonna say that Michael McEwen, he says, good afternoon. Okay, it looks like we're working again. I'll say that I'm back, and we hope that this keeps on working, because it's just one of them things. Now let's get you off of that crazy green box. All right, get you back off of there so you can see what's shaking here. Sorry for the delay on that. It's just all that stuff, wild and fun. Okay, so Grex Airbrushes. If anybody has questions in any of the locations, because I am on Facebook, and Spiracraft is also the Spiracraft YouTube channel, and I've got this monitor out there in front of me that pipes all that in when it works. So if you have any kind of questions today about anything, don't hesitate to throw them in there, and I will look down and take care of them for you. We have, to give you a brief rundown, we have the combo kits, as they refer to them, which is a complete kit. It's the airbrush compressor, the hose, the fittings, an complete airbrush kit, and then we have the different styles of airbrush kits, right on down to what they call an essential kit, which is just the bare bones airbrush, if you will. And I think I'll start with the opening. We'll do a box opening, if you will. And I've got a whole compressor down here, and I'll probably use, my brushes weren't clean enough because I was putting my display back together, so I'll use one of these brushes when we spray a little bit later on. But I'm going to go through what's in a complete kit, and we'll lay that all out on the table here, and then we'll go through and explain the different types of brushes, the gravity, the top gravity feeds and the side feeds that we have here. So that's kind of my plan. And of course, like I say, everything is available in the Spiracraft store. And you can jump to spiracraft.com and click on the shop, and that will take you right to the store. Now, Grex does a fantastic job. And I can switch back and forth here. So I'm going to do, this is the first time I've ever done an unboxing. I've seen them on YouTube and all that good stuff. So we're going to jump over here. And you can see when you open the box, it comes with an informational DVD. And I got to say that Grex has a fantastic series of videos on the YouTube channels, their YouTube channel, for explaining how to use the brushes, how to clean the brushes. I worked with sales and technical services at the woodworking shows this year with Grex. Wonderful guys. You have your instructions, your warranty cards, accessory lists in cards there. It comes with a bottle of their private stock opaque carbon black paint. Comes with one bottle there. This is your hose for connecting your compressor. So I've had one of these on the road for 3 years, and it's a wonderful machine. And I beat the fool out of them, out on the road with the woodworking shows and trade shows. And it's still in. I still carry it in this original box, believe it or not. So this kit happens to be an O2, so it has a tritium O2 airbrush, the whole entire kit, just like you would find in, and I'm going to change this, in a box like we have here, because I'm still in overhead there. So it just doesn't have the box around it. That's the entire airbrush kit as part of the combo. Set that off to the side. This compressor is a wonderful little guy. It's real small. It's lightweight, it's super quiet, and I'm going to set this box off to the side for a second. So a compressor is the heart and soul of getting your airbrush to run. You need air. These are super quiet. It has regulator, filter, a brush holder built right onto the end of it. Now I'm not going to go ahead and hook this one up, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my compressor, which I have right here. Okay. So here's mine. This has got 3 years on the road on it. And I'm going to turn this on. And there's nothing hooked to the end of the hose right now. So it'll run. If I didn't have it plugged in, if it didn't crash from when I... let me make it run this way. I'll just bleed the air. So if you can hear, that's how loud it is. I got my microphone right up to the motor. It's extremely quiet. So when I step away, you probably cannot hear that running. It's got a little rubber isolation feed on it. No vibration. I mean, very little. You can feel just a little teeny bit in it right there. Fantastic little compressor. Again, takes a beating, keeps right on going, because I have to admit, I am not the easiest on tools on the road. I tend to use them, if you know what I mean. I just get right out there and go with them. Okay, so there's our compressor in there. So let's go ahead and open up the kit. This one is already in plastic, but when this one goes out the door, I'll put a little note that says it was open for demonstration purposes, and it has never been used. We just took the plastic off of it. Whatever you do, don't hit that thing again, Bradley. All right. So we'll just take our razor knife, come in here, cut the plastic away. I'll go out here so I can smile at you as we take the plastic off. I hope everybody's enjoying the weekend. I forgot that it's a holiday. I don't really know much about holidays, it seems like, anymore. I've always worked when people played for years and years and years. So this kit is the 02. So what is an 02, 03, 05, 07? That is the needle size. And all the guns in their system can be changed. You can change the needle out. So this gun comes set up with an 02 needle. And let me go to the overhead now. So this is a trigger style, and this is actually my favorite because this hand is kind of worn out from being a turner. And so with this one, you hold it, it just lays in your hand very nice. And all you have to do, you don't even have to grip it. That's why I like these so much. So it's real easy to function. Okay. One of the nice things about the Grex products is you can change the tips. So that tip that I just took off this cone off the front is magnetic. So I can take it off and I can store it in the back if I don't want it on there, if I want to put a different cap on. Very handy feature. I haven't lost one yet, if you can believe that. Now this is a side feed, and you can see here, this is where the side feed comes in. It comes with 3 jars, 3 containers, and it simply goes on, threads right in. Tighten it right up. Pop off your lid. And there you go. Now you can run the jar on either side. There's a plug here on the other side, which just plugs up the hole. Now, I asked about this. Somebody asked me when we were out there, can you run a cup on both sides? And according to the technical service manager, you can run. And the theory is, and I haven't tried it yet, but I want to. And we go, that if you have a cup on each side, so let me put one on this other side just for fun. If you put a cup on each side, so I'm told, I really want to try this, and put a different color in each one. If you'll turn it one way, you'll get one color, and if you turn it the other way, you'll get another color. And if you hold it straight up, you get a mix of the two. Haven't tried it. I'm curious about that. I'd like to see if that really works or not. It would be kind of cool if it did. Let's go back to the overhead here. The workings of all the airbrushes that we are going to talk about today, the XGs through the TGs, all the internal workings are the same. It's just what features you have on the outside that makes the difference in the kit that you get. But the actual innermost workings are all the same on all the guns. It also comes with the wrench for servicing the tip and cleaning. It's a tool that I should use more often. The kit comes with the quick release and air pressure control. So you have air pressure control. Get mine here. Right on the end of your hose at your gun. So we'll just hook this gun up. So it's quick release. Boom, and there you go. So no changing, no unscrewing the hose with that little cap on. So I have 4 guns on my rack back here, and I have a cap on all of them, and I just change the hoses super quick. I've got 4 guns back here. I can grab any gun that I want to. These are, like I say, these are all dirty. I'm bad. And I can just instantly change a gun. That one's would be ready to go. Pop it off. This little tool holder holds 4 guns, or 4 brushes. Pop it right on. Off you go. These guns are embarrassingly dirty. I'm notorious for that. Doing the woodworking shows, the show ends at 3 o'clock on a Sunday, and your mission in life is to get packed up and get out the door. So it's a complete kit, ready to go. All you have to do is hook it all up, put some paint in the cups, and off you go. You're ready to roll. Oh, let me put cover back in here. So it doesn't have the wrapper on it anymore, but that's all good. So instead of boring you with putting it all back in the box, I'm just going to set this off to the side over here with this box. And we'll take out another gun, and I'll actually do a little disassembly. Put all these goodies over here with the box. We'll take one of these apart. I should take one of mine apart, is what I should do. Of course, I'm embarrassed to show it to you. So that was one of the Tritium series guns. Let me show you an XG. So the XG has a slightly different look to it. And I don't have an XG on my rack. Maybe, where am I at on my cameras? Oh, let's see. I lost my camera look. I've got gremlins everywhere today. At least I can see what I'm on there. I don't have an XG in my arsenal, so it may be I may go ahead and take this XG because I have three tritiums and an essential. So I think I'll make this one another one for the fleet today. The XG has an ergonomic grip, and I'll show you the difference between the XG with its grip, and we don't need that box around here at the moment. And then the XG in the Essential kit. The Essential does not have the ergonomic grip on it. So we'll go overhead. Well, that's picture. I knew I was going to get crazy stuff if I did this. It's just one of those days for me. That's memories. There we go. That's what I need. I'll learn how to drive all this stuff one of these days. The XG does not. It has a top trigger. Okay, and all the guns are dual stage, two stage, if you will. So when you first pull the trigger back, it just bleeds air, and then the second stage opens up the fluid nozzle. Okay, so all the guns, regardless of which size, style, or model, they are all two-stage guns. The ergonomic grip comes with two, and this is a top feed. Some people prefer the top, some people prefer the sides. We do not carry any of the siphon style. We don't. It comes with the wrench, and comes with a barb for the hose connector. Okay. But we have the accessories, so if we wanted to, that I do, if I want to add the quick connect to this, and I do, we have the little accessory, quick connect plug, and we'll just make that part of this kit. These are like $3. So we'll just put this right on. Keep that straight. And now we are ready to go quick change. In our quick change world, just that easy. All right, super easy to do. You know, if you can even hear my compressor running down there. Super easy, super fun. Now let me show you what is in the Essential kit. Same basic gun. Oh, you see my soda now that I moved that box. I'll put it over here out of the way. It is hot out today, even though I do have the AC running. Gonna have to have a sip every once in a while. Take one of mine apart and demo clean, and that's what I'll do, Jamie. Or Jamie, I don't know, I think it's somebody named Jamie McEwen. Michael, I will take one of mine apart because I need to. So this is the XG Essential series, okay? And it is actually the same gun. It just doesn't have the ergonomic grip. It only comes with one cup. So in the box, you have the, one cup and its lid. You have your wrench, okay? So it's essential. It's gets you up and running in a basic format, which if you just want to get started, you can always add more accessories. Grex has a great line of accessories to it, so you can always add more. But the guts in that, and the guts in that, and let me bring one of the others over. One of these filthy ones. The internal workings are all the same. Okay, the way the trigger system works with the trigger style, obviously that's a little bit different, but the componentry inside the guns themselves are all the same, regardless of what size or style. And again, all the guns, they come in a certain size, so they may come as I wanted to show you that in overhead, didn't I? They may come with a 2 or a 3. They can all be changed and modified with a needle kit. 2, 3, 5, and 7. And the larger the number, the larger the orifice. So if you want to spray heavier bodied paints and fluids, like I oftentimes try and run pearlescent powders mixed with the paints through them, and running even a 3, it'll do it, but it's kind of pushing it. I need to bump it up to a 7 realistically to do that. But you can change any of the guns out with a needle kit. So you could have all the different size needles. You could have one gun with 4 different needles if you wanted to. Over time, as you do more, once you get into playing with an airbrush, it's really a lot of fun. I have a ball with them out on the road. I don't get to spend enough time with them when I'm here at home. If I did, mine would be clean. All right. So there we have the 3 different basic styles. So here's your basic gun, mid style, and then the trigger style if you like it. All depends on what you like as far as how the trigger works. You know, if you like to hold the gun, you know, in this fashion, which is the pretty traditional fashion, that's fine. This has the little grip here. Makes it a little bit easier to hold. I have a hard time holding because my fingers and my hands all messed up. So even that would be better than the basic one for me. And then, like I said, I really like just letting this lay in my hand and squeezing the trigger, which is supposed to go back and forth, but it's a mess. So that, you know, it all depends on what your needs are. Okay. So we'll put this bad boy back over here. All right. Let's see. We're going to put this guy back in his box. I'm going to use this one here in a little bit. So we do stock 2 and 3 of the essential, the TG, the tritiums, the TGs, and the TSs. TG is for top gravity. TS is for top side. So you know the G and the S. S is for side. G is for gravity on the top. Let's put this guy back over here. Another thing I want to talk about, Grex does have a cleaning fluid. I use a lot of it. When I'm actually using them, I do. What the problem I run into is guns sit all day long when I'm doing the shows. The cleaning fluid, it's not expensive. It works great. It's non-toxic and all that good stuff, environmentally friendly. It won't hurt you. If you spill it, you won't get in trouble somewhere. So that works quite well. Again, the stands, if you can see that stand over there, the brush holder holds 4 brushes. And then down here on the floor behind me, I have a spray cap, a fan cap, which will give you a bigger pattern, and the little cup, the little cap like I changed there. So before I take mine apart, let's do a little stencil. Let's do a little stencil work with some colors, because we do want to talk about, so we've got the gun. We're set with our gun that we'll be using, and we're going to put it off to the side. And now, if anybody happens to notice, I don't know if you can see any of the camera angles, and Bridget, I know you're probably watching there. I have on flip-flops today because I do not plan on turning anything. We won't be turning anything, so I'm wearing flip-flops. Plus, I was running around like a madman trying to get this all put back together. Anyway, so we want to work with a stencil. So we're going to use our piece of maple here. And Chroma-craft has a series of stencils, and there's two basic styles of stencils. There is what they refer to as a peel and stick, and they come in packs for different, that happens to be the blank, different patterns, butterflies, dragonflies, tree leaves, fish, all kinds of different ones. Let me go overhead here for you. And so the peel and stick is the base of the project and the stenciling. And then the second portion of the stenciling with the Chroma-craft stencils is called the infill. So the peel and sticks you can use a number of times. You can use them not forever, but you can use them a number of times. The infills are laser cut plastic, and Nick Agar designed all these. And he spent weeks coming up with all these patterns. And these you can use over and over and over, and they allow you to add dimension, characters, details to whatever stencil you have working, whatever you're working with. And I've got them all piled up here, and these have all been on the road, getting lots of use. You can't see it, but you can see I've been using these for a long, long time, and they work fantastically. So the easiest one for me to do and show you today will be a leaf, a maple leaf. And since, like I say, my guns are a mess, and we'll clean one when we're all done here. And the peel and sticks, they come in the negative and the positives. So you can see the difference there. There we go. I'm having to remember that the camera's way out front on top of the on the overhead there. So these have been through the mill a bit, but I will reuse them again. This maple leaf is, I think it's still got something left in it. And we're just going to pick an area. It's going to be weird to do this upside down. Maybe I'll do it right side up for you. I'll do it like that. We'll let a little bit of that ambrosia run up in there. Flip this leg down here, see if that'll stick down. It's pretty sticky on both sides, as a matter of fact, because it's been used so much. This one may not want to lay down. See if I can get that to cooperate. If not, I'll do something different. There we go. Maybe. And maybe not. It sticks to my finger. It's all the dye that's built up on here. All right, that one's not going to cooperate for me, so I'm going to grab something else out of the pile here. Yeah, let's look around in here. What do we want to do? Looking for another maple leaf. It's the one that I'm better at, if I'm honest. And I like doing both, but I will do a butterfly. I need to replace, I ran all these out on the road. I ran them pretty hard. And here I have the negative and the positive, and they're kind of stuck together from the last time that I used them. So get this unstuck. There we go. Lay that right in there. It's a little crooked there, Bradley. I did learn. Hey, Jerry. Yeah, you're right. Things always happen in front of people. And we don't talk about the things that don't happen in front of people. Good to see you, Jerry. Hope you're doing well. I know you're a big airbrush man. I have to see if we can't get you into a Grex one of these days. I'm not sure what you're running. Get this all to stick down. Okay, so I do have some tape here because I don't want to get a bunch of overspray. So we'll go around this guy and tape him off. Some of your good old blue tape. Did you get all your last 100 birdhouses done, Jerry? Michael says he can't get enough of these maple leaves. You're up in maple leaf country. Not that I got 4 maples in the yard here now. I just planted 2 more this year. They actually do okay down here in South Georgia, believe it or not. I just planted 2. They call them sunset red maples, and the other 2, I'm not sure what they are. I got one right here by the studio and one over underneath the big orange tree. All right. I shouldn't spray too far past that. I think I'll be okay. All right, so get out my gun here. Drop the knife on the floor. And what I'll do is I'll run a color in here, and then when I change color, I'll run a little cleaner through it. So I can't get my holder over here, but we can. I'm looking for a place where I can do this without the holder. A way that I can keep this up. What I'll do is I'll just take a couple of guns out of my holder so that I can set this down. The ones, that need to be cleaned. So there's my air hose coming up, get that staged up and ready to roll. So my butterfly, my first coat is going to be yellow. It's going to be yellow, and I have my yellow back here behind me. Part of the calamity that happened when everything came crashing down. So this is the aniline dye. It works great. It's just a little quicker and easier to clean up than the paints. The paints work wonderfully well, the translucent paints. You almost can't tell the difference. But it does take a little bit longer to clean them. And the dyes are much easier to clean up. So Jerry, you got 200 going. Wish you could grow orange trees up there. Well, good luck on that. I grew up in Florida, Michael, with orange trees. And I don't need much, so I just put a little bit in here. Now this gun is right out of the box, obviously, so it hasn't been set. I'll have to find something a little bit kind of test it on here. I have a cardboard box down here. That's what I'm going to use. Get that guy dialed down a little bit there. All right. They work a lot better when they're new than the way they are when I've got them going dirty. So let's get overhead with this. And you can see the yellow going right in. Now, if I had been planning ahead, there is a clear sealer. It's basically just the Chroma-craft dye has shellac and a little bit of resin in it. on its own. And so they also have what they refer to as a sealer, which is just the, and I say this to people and they always laugh at me out on the road. I tell them it's the dye without the dye. It's the dye without color. But if I had sealed it, it wouldn't soak up quite so much of the color. And yet it doesn't. It still allows it to take the color. And this dries super fast. And I'm going to give it a couple of coats there. And I'm going to let that sit for just a second and take a sip of my nice cool water over here. I had a gentleman email me last night about this presentation, and he works in what are called 40K miniatures, little miniaturettes of soldiers and things like that, and was interested in the brushes. And I forgot about I used to use them airbrushes for model cars. I'm a motorhead, so when I was a kid, I painted model cars, made the good old cars. Yeah, I never did the little soldiers, but these are fantastic. They're fantastic for that. Jump back out here. So I used up all the yellow that I had in the cup, so I didn't waste any. And I actually I could use the other cleaner, but I actually have a little lacquer thinner here because I'm using the dye. And I don't have any denatured alcohol, but I do have some lacquer thinner, and it will take care of my needs very well. So we'll run a little of this lacquer thinner through here, and I'll spray it over here away from myself. Not that I have a problem with lacquer thinner. And let me show you, if you're unfamiliar, I hope you can see this. So I'm holding the trigger down, and that's just air. There's no fluid coming out. And with that black background, I hope you can see, maybe you can't. As I pull the trigger back, I get the fluid. And that's what a two-stage airbrush is, if you're unfamiliar with the style. The very inexpensive brushes, you just have a single stage. With the two-stage, you can control, you have the air, and then you can bring in the fluid as you want to. And there we go. And we are nice and clean. Put the lid back on that, because I know I'll spill it if I don't. I'll just use my lathe bed as my tool holder there. Stay. All right, let's see. What do I want to do to my butterfly now? I think I want to... Let me think about this for a second. I always kind of get in a quandary about what I want to do with my butterflies. So I'm going through the stencils here, the infills, looking for the different patterns that match my butterfly here, what I got. And there's a match there. And Nick has, and Chroma-craft, they have a video up on YouTube on using the stencil system. If you go to Spiracraft and you go to the stencil, click on stencils, you'll get a link right to the video for using these stencils. Same thing with Grex. If you go to the Grex guns on the Spiracraft page, and down at the bottom of all the descriptions and specifications are links to the manual and to their site for extra information. So I loaded everything up in there yesterday to get that ready to go, so people had lots of information. All right, I think since I have my piece here, and I'm going to go overhead for you. So that drops the pattern right in for the wing. Okay. And then what we'll do is I can use it this way and that way. I have two different patterns. This one has finer a little teeny fine holes along the edge, and the one in here has larger holes. So this one I haven't used this one before. So what I think I might want to do, because whatever I do, I'm going to end up with these veins. All these that'll leave yellow veins on the butterfly. So you have to think about what the stencil's actually doing for you. And if I use red, I'll get orange. So I think I'll do red next, and then I'll vary the amount that I actually apply in the red. So some should be a little orange, and then some will be more red. So again, we'll load this guy up. Now you should wear gloves, but I'm not going to get them on just for this little teeny bit. I don't mind. You should also wear a respirator, but I don't know if you can see, but there's a fan right over here to my right, and it's blowing everything right away from me. And there's also an air conditioner on, which is pulling the air out of here, recycling it. I do have my respirators when I spray a lot. Okay. So let's go back to the overhead for you. And that is right where I want it. So I'm going to kind of go heavy to the orange to the outside and leave it more, or with the red more to the outside. And I'll go real heavy into little dots. Hopefully it didn't bleed through. One thing, if you can see, the closer you get, this is kind of a demo bowl now. So if I can hold the gun right to it. Just depends on what you want to get out of it. I was letting that stencil sit. So there's a little bit of my pattern. I did get a bit of bleed on the outer portion there where I hit it a little harder than I should have. There we go. So I think I'm going to come back where I did the red, the splotches, and I'm going to do some black. Now I'm kind of out of balance. I've got a nice shot there, so I'm going to come back over here because we don't want our butterfly color to be out of balance. So it doesn't take much to adjust him. Just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. All right. And I need to, I'm going to, just for fun, because I've got this cup full and I didn't need that much red, I'm going to do something for fun here. I'm just going to take an infill, if I can get this to lay down here. This is why you should have gloves on. So we'll have natural veins of bled underneath just a little bit because I didn't get it super tight. Just trying to use up some of this. I love, actually, ambrosia maple is one of my favorites to color because the ambrosia still shows up through the colors. I think my favorite color is pink. There we go. So that used that up real quick. All right. We'll clean this up. Get the red out of here. Again, I hope everybody's enjoying today. And 2 o'clock. I got started about 1:15. I enjoy doing these specials where we put the products on a showcase and with a special price going on. People have enjoyed it. Gotten some products, they get a great price. We've done it with Easywood tools. And we're going to do this every other week, approximately. We call it Saturday Special. We already have our Monday methods that I do every Monday, where I get out here and just have fun. Not trying to showcase a product per se, just getting out here and enjoying myself and making fun things. And there's a little bit of red left up in the top there. Although I'm going to go to black. I'll run just a little bit more cleaner through here. Get that out of there. Again, you notice how loud that compressor is? You can't hear a thing. There we go. Okay. And let's cap off our cleaner once again. And a little bit of black. And what I'll do after this is I'll clean it, and then I'll show you the Chroma-craft paint. The fine detail and airbrush. You can actually brush it as well, and then you can thin it down a little bit and spray it. So we'll run some of that. I've got some already out and ready to go. It's already been used. So just 3 colors in this one. Back to my little stencil. And I'm going to do the black on the very outer edges. And give me, let's see, where did I put the one that has the big... That's this one. That's the bigger, it's a kind of an experiment. See if I can hold this down nice and tight or not. Get a little wrinkle right there. So I'm trying to flood it. I'm probably flooding out a little too much. Lift that off. Didn't exactly do it like I wanted it to. I'm going to wipe this off because I'm going to flip it over real quick. There we go. And I think I'm going to, the other thing is I'm going to dial this brush down just a little bit. There. So you can't see what I just did, which is probably a good thing. I'm just going to dial this fluid control back a little bit. And get this guy lined up. Also just cut, see how easy, I don't know if you noticed that, I just used my thumb right here and I just dialed down the air. I had a little bit too much air going as well. So with that controller right there, the quick connect with the air control, I can change that and just take it right down to almost nothing, to where there's just a little teeny bit comes out. Okay, that's what I had, a little too much air going over here on the other side. All right. Now, what else could we do with this guy? Well, we got that running through there. We can add, with our black, we can give him some little antennae. All I have to do is find them. There they are. So we'll peel everything off. and set it off in our stuff. And then with the infill stencil, I have two little antennae. We want to give them big ones, little ones, butterfly. We just give them some little antennae right there. Okay. All right, it's got a little antennae. Those are real fine and clean. I know it looks like you can see that popping in there. They don't have anything for his tail, but we can give him a little black tail if we wanted to. I'll probably mess him up. Now I'm gonna leave him alone just like that. Now I'm gonna leave him alone. Where are we at here? I'm just gonna show you how a little bit of, I've got this dialed way back now. So we'll come over close to the butterfly. You can see how far I cut the fluid control back to a much lighter. If I open her back up, I can get a lot. Again, if you want to do little teeny squiggly lines, or if you have a plan, people sign. You should see the boards that people, what we do at the woodworking show. I'll put up, I'll have an easel at the show that we do. I do the demos on all day long throughout the day, and people are welcome to come by and grab the brushes. That's those 4 brushes that take all the abuse, and the whole big old page will be completely covered with autographs and cartoons and doodles from the kids and all kinds of fun things. So these guns are very, very versatile. And again, I don't have, I'm not going to pull out an air cap, but I can, a fan air cap. To get a nice fan pattern if you want to. I'm just running this through the gun. We'll put a black band on this. I'm thinking about, the reason I'm not worried about this piece is that I'm pretty sure, put the Rustina on it. Or make it look like a metal, so it'll just be a big warped metal piece. I don't have the Rustina out today, but that's a fantastic product. Makes it look like aged patinaed copper or rusted iron, steel. It works really well. Again, all the Chroma-craft products in the store are 15% off today. As I see the crawler rolling by. That sure saves me from having to try and remember things, because I'm always at a loss for remembering stuff anyway. Good to see you too, Azam. How you been? Didn't even know you were here. You're keeping quiet on me. Hope you're doing well down there in Texas. Yeah, if you're not busy on Monday, drop in. I'll be here at 10 o'clock. Still got to figure out what I'm going to do. So I'm going to switch over now and run a little bit of the paint. I'll run some of the paint through here, and I'll actually thin it down a little bit with the reducer to spray through there. So we'll just set that off for a second. Put a lid back on our lacquer thinner. Let's see what we got down in here. Oh, we got forest green. What have I already got out that I've been using? We'll do some green. We'll do something green around this maple leaf here. And you really, sometimes this is opaque, and the translucent, what do I have this translucent? Maybe I should grab a translucent. Transparent, excuse me, get the name wrong. I'm gonna go with blue. Do I have a blue down here already? I got black and black, yellow, red. I'm going with the blue. The transparent will look just like a dye. And when you run it with the airbrush, you can do these fades and bleeds and all that. It's fantastic. Let me make sure this doesn't have a seal in there. It does. I was doing the live demonstration. This came out this year, and so the first time I used them was out on the road at the woodworking shows, and I didn't know that they had the seal in them. And I was trying to get paint to come out of that thing because they had never had seals before in front of an audience. And I guess it probably was in Baltimore, as a matter of fact, the first show. And I kind of felt foolish, which is not the first time. So what we want to do is it's designed as a dual purpose paint to be painted with a brush. With a real fine artist brush, you can do real fine detail work, and that's the consistency that it is in the bottle. Now, if you're running a big tip, if you have say a 5 or 7 needle in your gun, you can probably go ahead and run it straight. But it likes, in a 2 or 3, it likes to have a little bit of reducer in it. How much? It just depends on your needle and what kind of effect you're looking for. There's no magic amount, no magic number. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All right. I'm going to put in a little bit. Where am I on there? Okay. I'll put in just a little bit. I got about 1/3 of a cup in there. Ballpark. And then I just unscrewed the whole lid there, the reducer. You always need 3 hands. And maybe 6 drops of reducer. And of course, do I have a stir stick handy? Well, no, but I will go get one. I'll walk around here to the front side of the cabinet. Myself just reach down in here and stir this guy a little bit. If you're going to do a bunch, obviously, go ahead and mix it up in a little cup to do your stirring and reducing. So, and I like to use a stick because then it gives me an idea of what, there we go, of what I'm getting. Now the light's a little weird on the overhead camera, the white balance is off, but you'll see as this sprays out, as I can see that it doesn't go, it probably won't stay in focus up there. Okay. Do 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 do. So I'm over here. I'll come up to the top here where you can see, and I'm up above that, and it looks just like putting the dye on. It is a translucent, transparent color. I don't want to use it all up because I want to do something to this maple leaf. We got plenty. All right, let me see what I can do here. What can I find in the infill stencils to do something different to this maple leaf? That's the wrong one. Got to find the right match. I can always do it, give it some forest texture. If I don't have the other match that I'm looking for, we can give it some bugs. May not have the other. Yeah, let's give it some. Now I'm not gonna. I don't have this taped off, but I've got my air down pretty low, my fluid down pretty low. So this should work. Let me move this up to where you can see what I'm doing. Try and hold this down steady. And I'm going to come in here and give it these blue veins. And I'm going outside just past the stencil just a little bit, but considering that I'm freehanding, and if I come in with my brush, I shouldn't have as much. Like I said, I've got the volume turned way down. So you can, these brushes are so adjustable. And my mouth made a great holder there. Now I'm not left-handed. This is the first time I've ever actually tried this left-handed. And again, I don't want much, so this fine control I've got with the gun dialed down. I dialed back the fluid control, and I dialed back the air, and then I just lightly pull on the trigger. And then we start to get our, I got a couple more to go. And I'll zoom in on this. It's a great effect and super fine detail. And with a combination of these stencils and a really nice controlling gun like this, you can really do some pretty incredible fine work without having to have spent 20 years at the tattoo parlor or at the fairgrounds learning to run an airbrush. All right, so that's really neat. And that color, those two colors, the coral red and this blue, and I know you can't see it, so I'm going to hold it up a little bit closer. You get those real clean, sharp, real nice lines. That's a really neat effect. Okay, and I literally didn't, there's just a little teeny bit of blue on the top that it went outside of bounds. So if I'd been paying a little bit more attention, that would have been great. I mean, it's still great, and I really like it. So there's lots of things, and again, this blue that's paint, and yet you can still see. And I'm just gonna let me do something here. Let me do some bugs just so you can see. I'll do some bugs. I'll do a spider. I don't think I'm out of paint. Unless I used it up on that last little shot. Oh. It's hot today and it's drying really quick. It's drying in the gun. Let me blow back a little bit more. I may have needed to have thinned it down some more, because it's probably pushing 90 in here. If I can get it to come to life. May have to turn up the airflow for a second here. Yeah, I don't think I reduced it enough today. And I loaded her up there. Okay, well, we're going to stop because we'll have to clean that anyway. But that's that effect, real fine line. Now I'm just going to put this right back in the bottle, since I own this bottle now. And put the cap back on there. And we will run a little cleaner through this guy. First, I'm curious to see if I want to run a little reducer, just straight shot of reducer in there. So I'll be having to take this one apart and clean. Maybe I'll just go ahead and clean this one, because I ran that paint too thick. Let's see if we can get it with a little lacquer thinner. Hot days. I'm glad I'm not doing resin today, because if I was doing resin today, all bets would be off going out the window on a 90-degree day, you know, instead of being 70. Yeah, it sure dried in there in a hurry. And that's what happens when like I say, I didn't reduce it enough, and when the paint dries because it's so hot, you are better off at room temperature, kind of a 70-degree area. So we'll be cleaning this guy up. All right. So since you wanted to see one come apart, well, by golly, we'll take one apart. Okay. I hope you enjoyed seeing how the stencils work and stuff like that. I'm going to show you that again real quick before I put this off to the side. So fine lines with the stencil and the paint. Our butterfly, not my best butterfly in the world. Playing with blending the colors over here. The difference between a paint, in blue and a dye in the red. Can't really tell the difference. The brush allows you to do these super fine lines. You just hold it. The closer you hold it, the finer the line. Hold it close and move it fast. You get a hairline like that. Or you can move a little bit slower or a little bit further away and you get your larger lines. Okay? So, let's take this guy apart. Do a little cleaning on it. I'll put this down here. We're just going to put out, what am I going to make a mess on here? Let me put these stencils away real quick, out of the way, before I make a bigger mess, as I usually do. Any kind of questions anybody's got out there about any of the products, be it the Grex products or the Chroma-craft products? Fire away in the boxes there for me. Be happy to answer you. That's what I'm here for. Get this stuff out of the way. What I think I'm going to do, I've got this piece of wood over here that I think will let me bridge between this table and the lathe, so that I can kind of work like that, and I don't care what happens there. Okay. I'm going to go over and get a cup here out of my resin world. Myself a couple little cups for cleaning. This one should do the trick. All right. I hope everybody else is inside in the air conditioning, not out here in the warm. Although I can't complain, I'm having a good time. I'm having fun. Grex has a a complete cleaning kit here. And I'll show you the overhead on this in a second. Got this handy little key ring, just laid out right. Oh, get it up under there. So this little key ring has 5 different little industrial grade pipe cleaners on it, and they're on, like I said, they're on a key ring, so you don't lose them. This is your wrench for taking the brush apart. Of course, a big scrubber for getting down and dirty. This one extends in and out. Got a little collet, if you will. So I am going to take some of the reducer, and I'm just going to put some reducer in my cup here. Just take that off just to get it out of the way. My cup, I'm going to set off to the side for now. Okay. So I'm going to have to lean forward just a little bit. Off comes the top. Get down here where I can see what I'm doing. Get the right one for this. So this little cap surrounds the needle. Okay. We undo the back. Took the little threaded nut off, which is really hard to see. Pull the needle all the way out. Very fine, fine needle. Okay. Now we can start our cleaning. The needle itself, we want to be very careful with. And I'm going to slide this. And I'm just going to use this brush. And I'm going to clean this needle shaft. It's the very tip of the needle that you do not want to mess up. I see some chunks. So what I think happened was there was a little globule of paint that came out in the initial. You probably can't see, but I'll hold this up. You see that little? There's a chunk over there. So a little bit of solid. So there was a little solid in the paint, and I think that's what shut us down, because that came right off of the tip. Okay. Get it around in there real good. And then we'll take one of the brushes, the industrial brush. It looks like we'll take the small one for this one. We'll dip it in our cleaner. Get right up in there and clean that out real good. All up on the back side of where the tip goes through. That looks pretty good now. The actual back side of the tip itself, I know it's kind of hard to see these little teeny pieces. This is the tip guide, if you will. My paper towel over here for my hand. Let's see if we'll get inside, backside of this with our little brush. As you can see, they're not super hard to clean. Okay. Takes care of that. We look good here. I'm gonna do a little bit more on this part right here, just to be sure. If I had my compressed air over there turned on, I'd blow it off with the compressed air. Now I want to come into the body here, and I'm going to set these guys off to the side. This is where the bulk of the paint was residing. You don't ever want to leave your airbrush soak overnight in whatever cleaner. Just clean your gun. I'm going to wipe down the outside here real good for a second. Clean your gun when you're done. Not like I do and leave it because I'm trying to pack a box. But don't just throw it in something to soak it overnight. You will mess up the internal O-rings and affect the metals on the inside. So let me go back to the overhead for you. And I'm going to use the larger diameter brush of the round brushes and work down through there real well. Get that bore cleaned out. Make sure that's all nice and clean. I mean, it's real handy the way this comes with all the cleaning all the cleaning supplies and tools that you need. And I'm going to change out that cleaning fluid real quick here. And get some fresh. Get a fresh batch going. For one more swab up in through here. Now again, these brushes are super easy to take apart. Get them straightened out, cleaned up. That's all we got to do. Our needle's all clean now. Do 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 do. These little teeny parts is kind of hard for you to see. I know that. And that is that. Then you set the needle back up against the needle seat just till it comes and touches. That locks the needle in place. Get that where I want it in there. There we go. Pops that back on. And that was just our tip that we had floating around on the front. That was our nozzle. Our coupling goes back on. Now we just still have to clean the cup. Put the cap down in there and the cup. We'll give them a splash around. Shouldn't take too much to get them clean. So that's all there is to cleaning the internal workings on the gun. Just takes a few minutes, says I, with mine that are all jammed up over there from the last time we used them on the road. I haven't sprayed. I don't think I've sprayed anything out here since. This will clean up real quick, because it hasn't been on there very long. So you may find that over time, I don't know how many of y'all out there are avid airbrushers. Is there anybody out there that runs multiples? I know Jerry, you do, if you're still here. I know Jerry has an octopus. He runs 4 or 5 guns at a time. Which is the most efficient way to run one per color. Is the easiest way to go, so that you don't have to change guns. Now, what I do is I have one hose, and I change guns to the hose. I've seen Jerry's system as he demonstrated for me in Charlotte 2 years ago, which I really appreciate Jerry you coming and doing that. And he has what I called it an octopus, where each gun's already on his own hose, and he just picks up the next gun and goes. Off he runs. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So with the airbrush, like I say, there's an amazing amount of things that you can do. And I didn't do any big fades and transitions and bleeds today on that piece, just because of time and just trying to get through the different stages here, showing you about the different products and the guns. But they are fantastic. They're very habit forming. They're so much fun to get working with. And this guy is back together and ready to go for the next time. Very good. All fresh and clean. And same color as the green screen. I wonder what it's looking like. I'm kind of curious how it's showing out there. I'm having to look over at a computer here real quick. But a good deal. These things are fun. Again, they work well. They're easy to clean. Don't let your paint get clogged up on you. I think that was a little chunk that I had in there that did that to me today. Put my tip back on there. But I'm going to add this one to my arsenal over there, and which I'm happy to do, because I've wanted to have one more that goes on my gun holder to have a 5th color, because sometimes having that 5th color is handy. The brush kit, the cleaning kit here, is available as an accessory. You will find pretty much everything. The basics. We don't have everything. Grex's line is huge. If you're something that you're looking for and you go to the Grex site and you don't see it on ours, please let me know. Shoot an email to contact@spiracraft.com and say, hey, Bradley, I'd like to get the XYZ and I don't see it listed, because there's a couple of the gun sizes or series models, like the 2 or 3, that we don't necessarily have listed on the website right now. And there's a myriad of accessories which are all available to us. We put together a package for the woodworking shows when we went out that we thought would be the best package to put out on the road without carrying a ton of different things. So that's what we're based on right now. And the store inventory style and listings will grow. But if there is something that you don't see listed that you know that they have, if you jump on the Grex site, well, just give us a holler. We'd be happy to take care of it. Now, it looks like we're winding down. It's 10 till. And so I don't know if anybody's been picking up any brushes or not today, or the combo kits. So I've got a little special offer, and it's not on the ticker tape, and it's not where else. So if you happen to be here, however many folks are around, if you pick up one of the combo kits, the 2 or the 3, the GCK 03 or 02 with the compressor, the complete kit, I will add in one of all of the Chroma-craft paints. I think there's 10. There's 10 paints. So I will add a set of all the Chroma-craft fine detail paints. If you pick up a combo kit, these are $6.45 a piece, and right now they're 15% off. But that's a good savings. That's a good $50–$60 savings right there, value that you add to picking up the kit. If you do that, like I said here, by 3 o'clock, that's when that special ends. And I did save that for the last 10 minutes. That's for the people who were diligent and determined enough to hang around with me for 2 hours and tolerate me. I'd like to give you that little extra incentive. And if you just decide you want to pick up any one of the individual guns, I will make up a 5-pack of colors. So I'll do black, white, red, blue, and yellow. For anybody who orders up a gun, an individual gun, doesn't matter. You can even be the essential set. There are essential sets. I think they're. Where's my cheat sheet here? They're $107 on sale, and you get 6 colors, 6 paints with that. Toss that in there. No, did I say 3, 4, 5? Excuse me. You get 5: red, blue, yellow, and black and white. So a little extra something for you if you're on the fence about picking up a gun today. Just jump in there and get it, and I'll toss that in. It won't be in the paperwork anywhere. It'll just be in the box. It'll be like Christmas when your gun or your combo comes. Again, all the Chroma-craft products are on sale right now with the code that you see on the crawler there, the SSCC 15, and I'm going to let that run for 24 hours. Okay, and you'll see in the store that the Grex products are already marked down. They've already been had the 10% reduced from, so there's no code needed for the Grex products. They'll go right into the cart for you at the sale price. That sale price runs, I think, until the end of May. So you've got a little bit of time on that if you're on the fence on the price of that. But if you want to go ahead and get those extra paints, now would be the time, because we'll toss them in there for you for free. Lan, I'm glad you enjoyed the demo. Hope you're having a good day. I'm glad that I survived my display behind me not crashing back into my head. It was quite I'm not even sure what the right word is. When the whole thing came falling forward and landed up against the lathe here in the table, and all the shelves came off and the bottles flew all the way to the camera that I'm looking at, and stuff was everywhere, and it was 20 to 2 or 20 to 1, excuse me, and I went, oh my, not exactly those words, but But we got through it. We had a good time. I had fun. I hope you enjoyed looking at the brushes, seeing the brushes work, seeing how what's in the combo kit, what the different styles and series are about, working with the dye, working with the paint. I always enjoy coming out and showing folks the products and showcasing the products for you. Got to show you how it works if you want to go ahead and to help you want to get one. So that's what we're always here for. Anytime you got questions, email us, contact or info, but contact is worked great. Contact the Spiracraft. Give us a call. I'll always answer the phone if I can get to it. If I'm in the office, I pick it right up. If it goes to my cell phone, sometimes I have to chase it back. But always we'll call you back. Thank you very much. I'm going to wind this up. If anybody has any questions, I've got just a couple of minutes here. So I'm going to hit the overhead here and I'm going to put an image down here on the table. And that doesn't work too well. Let me put something there because I need a sip of water. I'll put a really dirty gun. I'll show you what not to do, how not to leave your gun. How's that? While I get a sip of water here and wait just a minute. I like my display. I'm just now kind of looking over the screen here. Although the green bottles I see, because I'm running a green screen chroma key, the green bottles have wood texture on them there. But I knew that would happen. I was pretty sure about that. Same thing with that handle I see there. But that's all good. Okay. Well, I don't see anything coming through. So with that, I think I will say thank you to everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. See you 2 weeks from now for Saturday special. Not sure what the product line is going to be, but we'll be back out here. See you on Monday for Monday Methods. I'll be posting up what that's going to be later today or tomorrow. I like to think about it before I get going. I like to get right up close. I got a couple ideas. Anyway, y'all have a great weekend, great holiday. Be safe. Hope everything's working out for everybody everywhere. Thank you and appreciate it. And goodbye.